Best RV water accessories. From filters to water softeners to gizmos, gadgets, and holding tank treatments. We're going to break it all down from you and talk about our favorite RV water accessories after 4 years of full-time RVing. So don't go anywhere. Hey guys, welcome back to Why Wait. I'm Chris, and today we're going to talk about the best RV water accessories. Again, from water filters to water softeners to holding tank treatments, hoses, gizmos, gadgets, everything we've been using as full-time RVers to set up our water system. So let's go ahead and just get right into it, and we're just going to start right here with a water pressure regulator. That's pretty much the first thing you want to hook up to the water spigot when you arrive at a campsite. First thing you always want to do is, first of all, turn the water on, make sure it works. If it does, then go ahead and hook up the water pressure regulator to make sure the water pressure is okay before you even start setting up your RV. We like to use this water pressure regulator right here. It's nice because you can actually increase or decrease the water pressure that you have coming into the RV. Now, most people will tell you that these RV water systems need to be anywhere between 40 and 60 psi so that you're not ruining the plumbing and piping inside of them and stuff like that. But I'm going to be honest with you, this PEX piping can handle a lot more than that in my opinion. And just from what I've experienced over 4 years of full-time RV living, I need some more water pressure. And we usually run it anywhere from 70 to 80 psi, and we've never once had any kind of leak in any kind of connection in my basement or anywhere else. We just like to have, a good amount of water pressure, and I usually keep mine set pretty high. Now, I'm not saying I got it set to 100 or 120 psi, anything like that. I'm not too sure if you can even find that in the campground, but I will say I don't think you have to err so much on the side of caution like people usually tell you. I think that's a little bit more of a myth just from my own personal experience. Next up, we like to run an inline water filter. Now, usually, as you can see here, I would have the water pressure regulator hooked up first and then the filter after that. But because of this weird water spigot that's kind of buried down into the ground, I had to switch them up a little bit so that it would work. But usually the first thing you want to hook up is your water regulator, then followed by a filter. Now this is just basically a 20 micron filter. This isn't something you want to hook up and then just go ahead and start drinking out of your faucet. We'll get into that later. We use some more filters and some better filters. This one is just basically to filter out basic sand, sediment, things like that. And then we'll get into later on down the road how we use other filters to make it so that the water inside the RV actually is drinkable for us. So right from your inline water filter, we usually go right into the water hose, which is usually our 0G hose. And I do recommend carrying two 50-foot lengths because you never know how far you're going to need to reach to get from wherever the water spigot is all the way down to where you need to hook it up to your camper. We've definitely had to use two sections of 50-foot hose before. This site right here, we're really close, so we just have a small little 3-foot section of hose that we have going straight to our water softener. This is a Camco water softener. Running the water softener is just a good idea if you're a full-time RVer anyways. It's going to cut back on any kind of hard water stains, and it's going to prolong the life of any of your appliances or water systems that you have in the RV. Now, we did have the on-the-go portable water softener at first, but it had some plastic fittings which eventually cracked over time. Now we switched over to this Camco one here that's been pretty good. It has some brass fittings, and we've had actually no problems with that. But we love the soft water inside the camper, especially for the showers. It just feels so much better. And from there, coming out of the water softener, I usually run this 4-way splitter right here. It's nice to have a 4-way splitter because if I want to do a few different things, if I want the water hooked up to the RV, well, I say I want to go wash my car or wash the RV, I can still have that without having to shut the water off to the camper. And I can even run my black flush hose right here to one of the 4-way splitters so I can still have water going to the RV, I can be flushing my black tank, and still be using a hose outside if I need to. I just found it comes in handy instead of having to constantly shut the water off and only being able to do one thing at a time. And as if you noticed, with everything, we have these water quick connect fittings right here. And these things are a blessing in disguise. I absolutely love these. No more using wrenches and tightening and unscrewing everything. Everything I have has a quick connect on it, and I can just simply pop these hoses off and on with super ease. There's no leak to them. Been using these for a while. Great little item. Wouldn't want to RV without these little quick connects. One thing I always keep hooked up onto my 4-way splitter is this Save a Drop flow meter. This comes in super handy when it's time to flush the black tank, because after I empty my black tank, I like to close it again. I like to turn on the black flush, And go ahead, set a timer on your phone so you don't forget you're doing this, because you just closed your black tank and you're adding water to it. And if you forget about it, it's going to overflow into your toilet. But with the Save or Drop flow meter, you can see exactly how many gallons of water you're putting into that black tank. Usually when it gets around 30-35 gallons, I'll go ahead and empty it, and then I'll close the tank again, fill it back up again until I see clean water coming out of my black tank through my clear elbows. But the Save or Drop flow meter helps you out with that, because it lets you know exactly how many gallons of water you're putting in there, as well as when it's time to fill up the freshwater tank, you can see how many gallons are going into the freshwater tank. Or let's just say you want to travel with maybe 5 gallons of water in the freshwater tank so that you don't have too much excess weight in there. You can see exactly how many gallons you're putting in that tank before travel days. Now, one thing I like to do is I actually leave a small 3-foot section of hose permanently connected inside my water bay here, and it runs down and it connects into my water softener. It's nice because as soon as I disconnect from the spring fittings, I just pull that hose up through the hole and I just permanently keep it stored in my water bay for travel days. And I don't always have to run another hose up into there. And as you can see on the black flush and our main water line, we have these brass 90-degree elbows, which is nice because it takes all the pressure off trying to connect a hose in there and having that hose bend and put pressure on these plastic connections into your water bay. So the 90-degree brass elbows definitely come in handy for that. From here, the water going into the camper, the first place it's going to go is into our cabin filter right here. Now, this is where we start really getting down to filtering some good water. Instead of using your basic cheap filter that you would put in here, which is usually a 10 to 15 micron filter, we actually use filters from a company called Blue Technology. These are 0.2 micron filters. And what that means is you're going to be filtering out more than just sand and sediment. You're going to be filtering out parasites and calcium and lead and all kind of stuff. This company, Blue Technology, is great. They have the highest standards for filters, and at 0.2 microns, it's pretty much making your water as safe to drink as possible. So no more traveling with water bottles and traveling with 5 gallons of water. So we have drinking water, we're cutting down on plastic, and we can drink straight from our faucet. Speaking of the faucet, underneath our kitchen sink, another item that we have from Blue Technology is this solo filter unit right here. We mounted this underneath the kitchen sink, and it has a small 0.2 micron filter that the water goes through before it comes to our filter. So by the time we're drinking our water, it's going through the first stage of an inline filter, a water softener, a 10-inch 0.2 micron filter, and then lastly through this solo unit underneath the kitchen sink with another 0.2 micron filter in it. That way we know we have the best, purest, safest drinking water that we can possibly have. If you guys want to check out anything from Blue Technology, we have links down below to them, as well as a promo code YWAIT001 that'll get you 7% off anything that they offer. And if you do want to get a whole water filtration system, they do offer those water filtration systems that you can have outside or mounted in your basement with the 3-stage canisters as well. And by the way, the water coming into your RV is only as good as your water hose and the PEX piping throughout the RV. So I'm not going to break it down right here, but you can go watch this video, and it's a link on how to not only sanitize your fresh water tank, but sanitize your cold and hot water lines running through the entire RV, and how to sanitize your outdoor hose that you use as well. You see that a lot of people just throw these away after a year and they get a whole new water hose. Well, just like you can sanitize all the water lines running in your camper, you can also sanitize your hose. And we break down in this video how to go about and do all of that. And one of the last things I want to touch base on is carrying some spare water parts in case you have a plumbing issue and you need to fix something or repair something or do a little job. We like to carry some extra PEX piping on hand, the little crimps to cinch them up, the tools to do these projects. But we do have a full-length video on that if you want to get more into that, on all the RV spare water parts we carry in case we do have a plumbing issue or some kind of project that we want to do, and you can go check out that video. Guys, that's it. That's going to cover all the water accessories that we've kind of acquired over 4 years of full-time RVing and how we got our system set up to best suit us and make things as easy as possible. Hope you liked the video. Get out there, start your full-time RV adventure, because why wait? We'll catch you guys next week.